emphasize the theme of the show today.
What's the thing?
The theme,
What's the
Make
thing?
America Great Again. We had a heated argument about it last week. I'm taking my mask off. I'm gonna bear this off just a little bit. I'm gonna take it off a little bit. We had a heated argument last week as we closed the show. Make America Great Again. When was it great?
Okay.
Today's program, of course, was brought to you by Cash for Junk Cars.
Get cash today in that vehicle all the way.
Get cash in
Middle
hand.
Tennessee and beyond. Get cash today for your unwanted vehicle. 615-480-6473. 615-480-6473. Get cash today.
And that vehicle all the way. Just call.
Yes, this is the To The Point Show. We're coming out of Music City, America, Nashville, Tennessee. Someone might be able to win a chance to meet Larry on 5th and Broad in this show. But this is the To The Point Show. We talk about hot topics in the nation, in our local community, Nashville, Tennessee, and in the world.
Hey, okay, real quick before we get started on our topics. This morning, Ron, I didn't tell you guys, but one of the guys over at Dillersville Nutrition,
Okay.
at 900 Conference Drive, in Dillersville, Tennessee, 37072. I don't have the phone number, but they're selling shakes, teas, and anything nutrition. Go over and check them out. Dillersville Nutrition.
We promote healthy diets. We promote healthy lifestyle.
Yes. Go stop by, pay them a visit. I want to say this business is, I think it's a black-owned business. That matters to some people, and that's important. That's not the determining factor for us doing business or promoting your business. Of course not.
True.
But we're glad to promote back like that.
That's right, Larry.
Okay.
That's
Just
right.
build nutrition, not going to come from. But hold on. Anyway, back to my number one topic that I'm going to drive home. I'll come back to this in a few minutes. Make America Great Again.
Again?
Are you guys old enough to remember when somebody said "Made in America" was the gold standard for a product?
I remember.
Made in America was the gold standard for a product.
When was that? 70s?
In the 70s, 60s, 70s, and the 80s. Good morning, Maria.
And then things got to being inferior.
Exported.
Okay.
Hold on. Now, what happened is
Our businesses over here.
our business over here were being taxed and unionized.
So what about the Democrats?
Democrat politicians. That means, but I'm not here to make blame. I'm here to make a point.
Okay.
I'm not here to blame anybody.
Right.
But Made in America was the gold standard. So when we say Make America Great Again, we had the highest standards.
High standards
of producing products and goods, products and goods, of course, same thing. I'm sorry,
That's right.
educational and academic standards were very high. Now we spend more money than the next 10 or 12 countries behind us on education, and we have we're probably in the lower 90s of achievement academically.
That is that you are referring
Making
to.
America Great Again. Hold on. Instead of going down to sign up for welfare, going over to a job fair,
Slow down. I like this.
Instead of going to the welfare lines, going to the job fair line.
No welfare, job fair.
Job fair. Make America Great Again. Argue with me about this. I want to know what's wrong with Making America Great Again. Call in 615-242-7760. This is what's happening. What has happened to the nation, Ron? Cornelius, what's happening? What's happened to what's happening in Nashville this weekend? We had a flood. We had torrential flooding and
the surrounding counties was much more severe than others.
Right. Did you guys drive through? I drove out to Rutherford County. I drove out to
Franklin,
Wilson County. I went to Wilson County. Wilson County hit hard and standing water. People's cars are underwater, and portions of some houses are underwater. And I didn't know it was that bad.
It's amazing in this area when we get this 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 inches of rain at different times. We have certain areas in the city that we know are prone to rise up and because of the water that, flows. And one of those is the Harding Place area around there, Blue Hole Road, and we're prone to that. But also, one of the ladies that was on the news around that, she said that even in the last flood that we had, the historic flood, she said it didn't do particularly like this particular one, which we know it does rain in different, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it hit her really hard.
Man, but it was a tough storm.
Yeah.
If you were sleeping on Friday,
all night long.
All night. Boom. I was like, what? And I was like, what's happening? Or something. And I was oblivious because I guess I didn't watch the weather report to know what was really what was flying out, But again,
speaking of that, but they're saying because we had the tornado and then we had that flood, we had that tornado a couple of nights before that. Did you get all the ringing on your phone and stuff?
Yeah,
Where I was particularly, it was loud.
Yeah.
And I have never been one to have a fear of weather for some reason. It just where other people were scared, I'm not. But I had a little. I was like, "What's going on out there? Do I need to get under the table?"
The city. If you're in the city's database, the city of Metro was calling.
Oh, what?
I was like, I said, how did I get into this?
I said,
but I guess if you're in that system, okay, Ron. But I sent myself a message about, and again, I'm gonna drive it home today, probably the next few shows, okay? Because I'm passionate about the success of this nation and the people's success in this nation. So when I say make America great again, I'm talking about our posterity. The people coming behind us. And
Posterity.
Yes, and for them to have a great nation and to be proud of. Go ahead. Come on, jump in.
Let's walk. Slow walk.
Come on.
Can we slow walk it around?
Bring it.
Please do.
Y'all are slightly older than me. Y'all are the bunch that I would have looked up to.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Y'all remember when y'all was coming through? We don't need no. Y'all remember that song?
Who said that?
I can't remember, but you remember that? And then,
song check.
And then in that same era, don't push me, cause I'm close to the.
Right.
So we was addressing mental health then.
Yeah.
But we started down the road of perdition.
Yes.
Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
Pink Floyd.
We started down
that. Man.
Yeah, y'all remember. So we started down that road of perdition in culture when we allowed those type of messages to be promulgated in society.
Right. Promoted.
Then,
just say what this said. Yeah.
But then, Larry.
Yeah.
Around 86, 87, we allowed 2 Live Crew.
Okay. All right.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
You talking about? I'm slow walking this narrative.
Right.
Then remember, Ice-T had the song about killing the police.
6 in the morning.
Yeah. But and that was like stuff that we were just bobbing our heads to, and then
it was amazing just to hear those things, being said. And that was, and like you said, that stuff came out there.
Yeah.
And it was never heard of before,
No.
And Tupac and NWA. And,
NWA.
Even coming from, like you said, starting with Grandmaster Flash.
Yeah.
Sugar Hill.
Okay. So wait a minute. So was the culture shock? A product of the degradation of the society, or was the degradation of society the culture shock? Was it the reverse?
I like how you said that.
Was it reverse? Was it reverse action?
Let's just look at the latter, the culture shock, because those songs would have not been produced if that was not part of the culture at that time. It comes it came at an expense. It was costly.
Right. That kind
It was a
costly.
mission at the same time.
Costly.
The cocaine invasion.
Okay.
Hitting probably around 82.
Crack
Came in around 86, 87, 89.
Yes.
85.
Okay.
Y'all.
But at first it was straight powder.
Yeah. Then when we
even though they
Lynn Bias, he dies.
Yes.
And guess what? Our communities have not been has not recovered since then.
Okay,
1986, and we had recovered.
real quick, the Suez Canal has been blocked by a shipping, a gigantic mass. You guys, come on.
Yeah, the container ship. Yeah, that big old, like a skyscraper, and that's a main port.
There are thousands and thousands and thousands of containers. This thing is so big.
Yeah.
It's carrying. You see it. You see
it's
it.
Amazing. They say for everything from food to drugs to
you
whatever.
name it.
Yeah.
Cars. You name it. Is on that container.
It's amazing.
And so, I got really caught up on this last week. When I saw it, I was like, "What the heck is going on?" Only under this current administration could something like this happen. I said, "Well, wait a minute. What did Joe do this time?" He said, "Well, hold on. Are they paying attention to what's happening here? In reality check. And it had blocked the whole Suez Canal off for over a week or two. Tell me from.
I didn't know it was that long.
It's been, and I'm sorry, they just dug it out this morning.
Right.
Just got dug out and moved. So basically, but hold on, I'm talking about, this is the issue.
Okay.
There were hundreds of ships that couldn't go anywhere behind the.
No retail.
Okay. Yeah.
No commerce.
No
trade.
Fuel,
nothing.
Everything.
I'm reading the Suez Canal.
Yeah.
Suez, so we got to give y'all some geography. That's in Egypt.
Oh, there you go.
North African,
Yes,
Suez Canal. We're talking about the
the
Mediterranean Sea and all of those things. We definitely have to deal with those type of issues.
It's a shipping lane. For those of us who don't know,
can I use this word?
Go ahead.
Logistics.
That's right.
Logistics.
That's right.
Logistics.
Absolutely.
Logistics.
Okay. Here's where we are. Products and services. A lot of these things is on that shipping. Back to when I started the show.
Okay.
A lot of products
Coming from
other places all around the world that we probably don't even make it anymore. So we're dependent on those kind of things. So when I say make America great again, let's make it in America. Let's make some things in America, or I'm pushing that narrative to where that should be our top priority. We don't even make antibiotics here. We don't make antibiotics in America.
We don't.
Huh?
We don't.
You heard that last year. They told you last year when you had a pandemic strike that we don't even make our drugs in America anymore.
Speaking of drugs, Larry, guess what I was able to do on Thursday?
Go right ahead. Please share.
Shocking newsflash. Radio host Cornelius Hill gets his first Pfizer shot.
Who's
first?
Congratulations.
His first
Pfizer.
Newsflash. Cornelius Hill gets his first Pfizer shot.
Okay, Maria, Facebook friend Maria Glenn says that you are the structure of your children. Basically, she's saying your children.
Take your mask off, Larry.
This is a strong mask. You can better.
No, that thing is good.
It'll suffocate you. Not
check this out. The Suez blockage was estimated to cost $400 million per hour in delays to goods.
Slow down, Ron.
According to CNBC.
Say that again.
You said what now?
Say that again. How many?
The Suez blockage, which the Suez Canal, what we're talking about with the shippers with containers carrying oil, commodities, and consumer goods, were forced to reroute around the southern tips of Africa, adding weeks and tens of thousands of dollars of additional cost to their voyages. Here, the Suez blockage was estimated to cost $400 million per hour in delays to goods,
and that's the other ships and other ships that had to back out of there,
right,
and go a different route. And I understand that there are about 12 routes that most barges take.
We got to call it.
About 30% of global container shipping volumes pass through the canal.
Go ahead, caller. Go ahead, caller.
Oh, this is Mona Lisa. How y'all doing?
Good. How you doing?
I was just wondering, did y'all know those ships that were stuck there, they had to arm themselves day and night to keep pirates away, to keep from being robbed?
Thank you for that information. But I knew that. Thank you so much, Sister Mona Lisa. Our fantastic and constant caller there with fantastic information. Those ships could have been robbed by pirates. You don't think of pirates on the high seas anymore, but it's a reality.
I still do though.
Okay.
Like that's still logistics.
Yeah.
I mean, this is Ron, Larry,
Unbelievable.
Big
400
time. Here you go. The ship.
400 million,
Per hour.
not $4 an hour. Now we talking about 400 million per. That affects. Listen, and I hate to say it, but that affects North Nashville in some sense.
It does.
It affects 3720, right?
It affects 37209.
They said that ship is like a skyscraper. The 220,000 ton and quarter-mile long ship operated by Taiwan-based Evergreen Marine had been heading from China to the Netherlands.
What?
From China.
Made in China.
Mhm.
Made in China. Man, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on right
One
now.
of the largest ships in the world. This is a great story that brings us here in our locality.
Okay.
Percy Miller, the son of hip-hop mogul Percy Miller, Master P, committed Friday to play basketball at Tennessee State University after saying he also received offers from Vanderbilt, LSU, UCLA, USC, Missouri, South Carolina, and Arizona, Georgetown, and several other large schools. What do you think about that, Larry? Is that changing the game or what?
That has changed the game. If you're a big time college basketball fan, especially at Big Blue.
That's right.
Go Big Blue. I'm sorry, congratulations. Wait a minute. Wait, hold on. Let's be clear. Let's congratulate Mr. Percy Miller.
Yeah.
But Percy Miller, but him having the opportunity to come over.
Percy Miller is the son.
Yeah.
Percy Miller
is Master
is
P.
the father.
Right.
True.
Yeah.
True.
TRU.
Yeah.
Listen.
But, I mean, he's a game changer for real.
Okay.
The game is, listen, the game is changing, and I'm grateful for the game change.
Mhm.
Now, as you and I were growing up, especially y'all would, the mid 80s, late 80s was the first group of mostly African American athletes that were able to go to the big time schools. Because still in the 70s, everybody was still going to the HBCU.
Yes.
And we know that. That's fact.
Yes. Right.
And then Herschel Walker comes on the scene and he goes to Georgia, 1980, and then it's,
After that,
the floodgates open.
Uh-huh.
So that the African American school suffered.
Yeah.
Because you lost the best athlete.
Yes.
And I will go on record and say this: Steve Spurrier, a great coach.
Yeah.
I mean, he said, "What's the difference between the SEC when you played and now?" He said, "The black athlete." He says that. He says that. So we are grateful that our African American schools are getting back to challenging the other Power Fives.
Okay.
Power Five.
Okay.
So I'm
Wait,
grateful.
okay.
And we can do business.
Okay.
Now you're doing business with the community again.
Okay.
That's a good thing, right?
It is.
Because you cannot grow your wealth without doing business.
Okay. Well, look. We can have that. We can have that debate because it's a serious debate. Because I am for higher education. I am, but
It's business.
But as a business, but that's not the number one product I'm selling. If I'm talking to a young person, I'm selling entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say that you need to go down over into and go into debt for $100,000, $200,000, whatever the case. There's a lot of people who know what I'm talking about.
Right.
But I need you to have a business approach as a business.
Right.
How are you going to help me pay for this and do what I need to do for this to be a reasonable venture?
Right.
A reasonable venture. If I'm going ahead and borrow. If I go borrow $200,000 or $300,000, $1 million tomorrow, I'm doing it for an investment.
Right.
I'm doing it to generate revenue. Right. That's the same. We got to teach our young people when you go and say I'm going to debt for $250,000 to go to school. Well, wait a minute. What's the return?
Who's winning?
Well, right.
Who's getting?
Only the school is winning.
And the lenders.
Right. So I'm not going to. I'm first going to preach entrepreneurship.
Right.
First and foremost.
Right.
And then we can talk about what are they going to give you over at TSU or Vanderbilt or UT or Austin P or Belmont to where it's I'm winning.
With anything, you're going to have pros and cons. And this world has changed really in the past. It's constantly changed, but in the past
10 years,
few years,
10 years,
it has really changed to make a person really look at is that higher education.
That's value.
Yeah, as opposed to especially when you have all the information you have on Google and YouTube.
Right there. It's right here in front of you.
But so some people, but I'm one that does know that the higher education will pay off. I'm just saying it will pay off. It can pay off. But I'm an entrepreneur to the heart.
Right. Hold on.
Especially with the flip going on back and forth. But it's going to depend on the individual, Larry.
Right. That's my point. My point is, I'm not saying it won't pay off.
Oh,
What I'm saying, my point is, am I getting a reasonable trade for what I'm giving out front?
I would say no in these days. For real.
Right.
Because when you look at the longevity and the things that are changing and
I mean, go ahead.
Right.
You're educated.
Right.
Come on, educated. Come on.
The
Come on.
sequence has changed. Like we were taught growing up, you going to school.
Mm-hmm.
We were taught,
I was taught that.
Yeah,
Okay.
you going to school,
Okay.
you going to college.
All right.
So that was a paradigm that literally worked for lots of people.
Right.
Then some legislation policies changed, the world changed. Now we in this digital space where you can go get a 6-week class and make money.
Right.
You can
Make
have a
great
trade.
money in
Right.
6 weeks,
Yeah, more than
as opposed to me going to school for 6 years.
Yeah.
So
not
what we're gonna have to do in the educational field is figure out a way, because how do we step up our game and how do we be competitive
Yes.
to the other things? Because
Speaking of competition,
let's talk about it. Because I'm not. Listen, the reason I don't have my terminal degree for a few reasons, I don't have the time. I don't want to go to school for 5 more years and if Larry ain't gonna give me this fellowship and spend $70,000 just to be called Dr. Hill.
Right. Yeah. I mean, what's the trade-off? What the bottom line? I'm sorry. Speaking of competition,
But I'm gonna get it.
I'm
Larry,
counting on you.
Cash
I'm
jump
counting on you.
card.
I'm
Like
counting.
fellowship.
I'm counting. But listen here, real quick. Competition.
Yeah.
We got a border crisis, and we've got thousands of illegal immigrants coming into the country overnight, every second.
Man, what's up with that?
We got smugglers with coyotes and smugglers with little children. I'm sorry, they're renting little children to people. So they say, "This is my child."
They take them over.
Wait a minute, hold on.
Did the crews go down there?
A whole host of senators went down there,
To check it
but the Biden administration won't let the news media go down there.
That's fine. That's fine.
It's fine.
That's fine.
When did they come fine?
When
What'd you say?
the previous administration said the things that they said on the radio. And
Said on the radio?
I'm just saying.
No. You saw everything. You saw everything the previous administration was doing. We're building a wall. We're building a wall.
Here we go.
Come on.
Blood slam that.
Oh no!
TSU has Hershey Miller, son of Master P. Thanks Master P and Hershey for staying true to the game. Get cash today in that vehicle hauled away 615-480-6473. Boulder, Colorado gunman.
Gunman. What is a gunman?
Gunman.
What is that?
Gunman.
Is it a guy that made out of a gun?
Okay.
He's a gun.
Derek Chauvin trial.
Uh-oh.
Opening arguments began about 1 hour ago. Many are saying that that his pre-existing conditions and drug use contributed to his death.
Yes. I'm in 100% agreement with that. George Floyd, I'm sorry. My condolences to the Floyd family and his daughter and his beautiful family.
Yes.
But George was a mess. George was a mess. He was a mess. George, I'm sorry. If you got a friend, I'm sorry. One last time you was in the car with somebody on fentanyl, heroin, speed, marijuana, cocaine.
I ain't never.
That I know of. I'm sorry, and I'm sorry that Mr. Floyd is no longer with us. I'm really sorry for that.
So
Yes.
I don't agree with what you're saying.
He wasn't a mess. He wasn't a mess. He wasn't a mess.
Contributed to his death.
You don't
with
think
somebody with a knee on his neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds?
I
That's like when we talk about COVID and people getting COVID contributed to their death. Okay, the COVID didn't necessarily kill them. It was another condition. Is that what you're trying to say? Because if he hadn't done any of that stuff, he still would have died. He could have been a healthy Larry
Uh-huh.
with a knee on his neck,
Still could've died.
and he would have died.
I don't know. I don't
If your air is cut off, you can't breathe.
Okay, we got to call. We got to
Phone
call.
lines are open, 615-242-7760.
Go ahead, caller.
It's me again.
Don't be sorry. Don't be sorry.
I say something on this subject about George Floyd. That added that he was having praise. He did not deserve to die like that.
I agree with that. She's right. I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with that. I agree with he didn't deserve to die like that. Nobody does. But were the other factors a contributing factor to his death?
Okay.
We have to consider why we have to consider that. Really, before you say I'm gonna lock a man up,
Listen,
the police officer for the rest of it, we have to consider that.
I'm gonna ask a question.
Yes. Go ahead.
Was the knee on the neck a contributing factor? Because I know,
The contributing.
yeah, if it was not the, was it? And if so, what percentage? How much so?
How much? Yeah.
And we all know.
I'll entertain that. I'll entertain the question. I mean, it's reasonable.
What do we do behind this though? If you convict the man, what happens? If you don't convict the
So he
man,
deserved to be murdered.
Whoa!
Because, are you saying that?
Whoa, Ron.
Because he was a mess.
Wait.
I was a mess before.
No, you weren't.
you know.
you were a man.
Yeah.
You
But
were
I'm just saying,
I'm like, oh, you are a man.
Okay. Confession time. I'm coming out the clock. When I was 18 or 19 years old, running around having fun, what we call fun,
Sowing your oats.
sowing your oats, even out in the streets from time to time.
Okay.
I had run into with the police. I have been disorderly.
Okay.
And I never had a knee on my neck, Ron. It never got to that. I'm sorry, and I'm not making light of Mr. Floyd's death. I'm not doing that. But I'm laughing about myself being a what I would call, what my parents would call, or my grandparents would call, a hooligan. We would probably been called. We would have identified as hooligans, at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And the police would, you're gonna be arrested. You may get arrested. Hello, Tammy.
I mean, in our days, we knew if you ran from the police and they caught you,
Yes.
you were going to get a beat
You're
down.
gonna get a beat
No
down.
doubt about
No
it.
question.
It's just standard operation.
No question. But hold on. If you talk
Okay.
too roughly to the police,
Yeah.
to a certain Ron, okay.
If you wear your hat in the car and you got more than 3 males with you,
Yeah.
you're going to get pulled
No,
over.
pull over. Get
So wear the hat.
Sit down. Sit
Yeah,
down.
sit down.
But hold on, Ron. And I don't. I remember one police officer. We were in a community where you would run into this guy regularly, and he saw you. He was going. This is a black police officer. This is a black guy. Hello,
Don't
Canadian.
call no name.
I don't say his name. I don't say his name. I'm not gonna say his name. But Ron, it was going down. It was going down.
Trouble.
No matter what.
Trouble.
So if George Floyd, if you saw the whole video, please watch the whole video. It's available. Watch the whole video. Don't watch part of it. Don't watch it when they put it on the camera and the police officer kneel on it. Watch the whole thing. And if you could, it's gonna be terrible. It's gonna be hard to do this. Put yourself in the officer's shoes. Be the officer for 3 minutes. Be the officer. Be Chauvin. Don't be Floyd. Be Chauvin for 3 minutes. Cornelius. Be Officer Chauvin for 3 minutes.
I'm already biased.
He's biased. Okay. Hey, there it is.
Speaking of bias, we have a trial. We have jurors.
Okay.
And they have picked, and they're going forward with this. And you're talking about bias.
Yeah.
Are they biased? Could anybody not be biased in the United States to be on that jury?
It'd be difficult. You have to go to Australia, a cave in Australia to get unbiased people. I would say.
You had to go further than that.
Probably. Yeah.
George Perry Floyd Jr.
We got a call. Go ahead, caller. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, I'd like to say again, this is me again. Y'all worrying me this morning.
Okay.
When my children were young, and teenagers, my 2 sons, we lived in a decent neighborhood, but mostly white people. We lived like in a circle block. We lived at the end of the circle. They didn't bother us, and we didn't bother them. We said, hello, how you doing? And that was it. They knew we lived there, and we didn't have no problem. My son got a job at Kroger's. He didn't have no car. He had to walk. He was 16 years old. The police brought him home with a gun on him. Because he said he lived in that neighborhood and they didn't believe him. They brought him to the door and knocked. And when I answered the door, they looked at me in surprise. They said, this your son? I said, yes. I said, he's done something wrong? And he said, really? I said, yes, he lives here. And it didn't happen not once. 3 times they did that. So that's stuff that used to happen. Now, I can tell you some things.
Okay. How many, just real quick. How many years ago? How many years back? Okay, all right. So,
15 years after that.
you're talking about 1994?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, caller. You're fantastic. Thank you for that testimony, that story. Great story. Okay, I'm gonna go back to where we're at right now. Right now, we have a border crisis. You left it alone. You didn't want to mess with that.
Okay.
But hold on.
Have we
I don't know
not
what to do
had a
about
border
that.
crisis?
That's why I kind of,
The reason for the wall is because we had a border crisis.
Well, see, effective people fix things. Ineffective people cause more problems.
Effective people fix, y'all quote that.
Effective people fix things or come up with solutions.
Mhm.
They asked Joe Biden, we don't have it implemented yet. I don't know what Joe knows. I don't know what Joe knows, man. Joe fell upstairs.
Yeah.
That being said, but I'm sorry, I'm hold on, Ron. You guys think that I'm beating on the administration. I'm not. I didn't bring that up. I didn't bring the border crisis, thousands and thousands and thousands of illegals being transported, being sold by cartels. I didn't bring that up for that reason. I brought that up for one of my favorite subjects,